Welcome to the Golden Boot Podcast with your host, George Hancock, Cody Slavinsky, and Vandy Chris, only on the Dogs Media Network. Stay golden. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Golden Boot Podcast. Hey, guess what? That's not Cody. What's going on, everybody? We are live right here on the Dogs Media Network. It is that time of the week. It is Friday night. I'm excited once again. I think it's Friday, right? It's not Monday. It's not Monday. I'm just kidding. No. It is that time again, man. I'm super excited. We are joined tonight by a special guest, because Cody had to watch LSU and Texas. So, he may be joining us a little later. But we've got a special guest tonight, Chris Joseph, host of Sports Bites Podcast. What is up, man?
Gentlemen, first off, thank you. I appreciate being asked to come on, an already established podcast, to talk sports, have a good time.
That's drink right. That's exactly what we're going to do. Oh, he's got a little drinky drink.
Little bourbon?
Little bourbon. That's all right. I like that.
His little drinky drink might be a little bit stouter than mine.
Yeah, your Mountain literally. I think Mountain Dew is in your bloodstream, bro.
I might have a little blood in my Mountain Dew stream.
Oh God, jeez. Vandy Chris, what's going on, man? How's your week been?
Well, you know what time of year it is. Catholics have started ordering their rosaries and their catechism and their Bibles and their candles and their palms. And well, I'm on overtime, and
oh Lord,
I'll be glad when these choir boys stop ordering their stuff.
Dominic Ambrose, what's up, man? How's the combine going? Love to hear from you, buddy. That's awesome. I'm sure you have had a blast so far. Chris Joseph, how are you, man?
I'm well. Good? I'm well. Had a little issue getting into that I was sick, so I'm actually training to compete in Olympic lifting, and so was able to get back into the gym this week and get back to working. So it was good.
Okay,
nice. That's awesome. Well, I'm excited to get into this thing tonight. Before we do, I just want to tell everybody thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure. Without you, there would be no show, there would be no podcast, there would be no reason for us three to be talking sports. But if I'm going to point your attention down to the bottom of the screen, the scrolling banner, like, follow, share this broadcast with your family, friends, even your enemies. Yes, they need sports too. This is the Golden Boot Podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter. We are live tonight on YouTube, and we are live on several Twitter accounts, Instagram, Twitch. We had a bunch of places. Find us, follow us. We are trying to build our YouTube channel. I posted about it today. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Golden Media Sports Network. We bring content twice a week. I just put out a short today. So we're building that thing up. So, and as always, special thank you to all of our sponsors: Verizon, Rogue Energy, Temu, Georgia Boot, and Varsity Base. Let's get this thing kicked off. I'm excited. It's time for our icebreakers. Now, if you've never watched the show before, we got a lot of people in tonight. If you've never watched the show before, icebreakers is our segment, like where you walk up to somebody brand spanking new and you have a conversation starter, right? That's what we kind of like to have it. So there's a little twist. We scour the internet to find all the memes, all the happenings going on in the sports world, so you don't have to. So we're going to bring it to you tonight. This is Icebreakers. Let's kick this thing off. Starting tonight, fresh. What is happening at the combine? Okay, I need to know, where are these questions coming from? Could Rome Odunze land a plane in case of emergency? Absolutely not. We're going down. All souls have perished. This is an actual question that was asked to Rome at the NFL Combine. I don't remember having these weird questions, but the fact that it just was blatantly obvious. Absolutely not. We're going down. All souls have perished. I mean, have we had some wacky questions in the past?
Hey, at least he told the truth.
He did.
He didn't try to lie and cover it up.
No, he did not. But I mean, man,
he may believe in space at least.
Well, that's a teaser because we're going to talk about that as well. Yeah, that's you're getting ahead of us there. Yeah. Let's see where'd my comments go? They just disappeared on me. Oh, Sarah says, greetings, Cody Slavinsky. You snooze, you lose.
Hey,
I mean, he's too busy watching baseball. At least he's honest. Exactly.
Hunter told me I got Tim's job yesterday, so I mean.
Dominic said, just for the record, I did not ask the weird questions. Good, Dominic. I appreciate that. I want to know who did.
See now, I was actually, George. To be honest, I was actually worried that the president of College Football Dogs, Hunter Dworsky, might have sent some questions with Dominic that pertained something along those lines.
Yeah, if we want to find out if somebody is a top or a bottom, that's probably one of those questions that he would ask. There's been some very weird questions at the combine this year, this being one of them. And I think I have somewhere in here. Well, first we'll move on to this first. Falcons prefer Kirk Cousins over Justin Fields for potential QB spot next season. Now, the reason this is important is because Justin Fields' manager popped out some kind of tweet, real weird, cryptic tweet that said, Justin, get ready to come home, with a video of him being ecstatic, jumping up and down. A lot of people thought that means he's going to Atlanta. What do you gentlemen think?
You know, for him,
yeah,
because of the type of athlete he is, you put him in with a Kyle Pitts, a Bijan Robinson. I mean, it could be good. I mean, but there's still so many times you look back to a lot of the highlights this year where he was missing, kind of like when we were talking about Caleb Williams. He's missing open receivers. Is he a great athlete? Absolutely. Is he a great quarterback? I don't know.
The jury's still out.
Vandy, Chris, what do you think?
The jury's still out on that.
Yeah.
Somebody's leaving.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Listen to me very carefully. Listen to me very closely. I'm going to bring myself up here. Chicago, pay the man and keep him there for eternity. Please. As a Packers fan, please keep Justin Fields there. That is all.
You just saying that so you can beat him twice a year.
Yeah. That's an easy win, man. I don't know what the hype is. He just doesn't fit well into the Chicago system, and I don't know. But yeah, Sarah says I'm a bit biased. Yeah, a little. But just listen, it's the truth. Pay the man, keep him there. Chicago fans obviously want him to stay. So Andrew says ain't no Falcons fan buying this. Right. I mean, Kirk Cousins over Justin Fields. Would you rather have that, Andrew, as a Falcons fan? I mean, he's more established in my eyes, but
he is. But he's getting old.
I wouldn't take either one of them.
He's getting old quick.
You just popped a Achilles, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, we'll see. More to come there. Andrew says absolutely not. There you go.
Well, maybe the Falcons can make a play for most overrated quarterback in the history of the NFL, Mr. Deshaun Watson.
Maybe.
There you go.
So. Oh, here we go. Texas Tech safety Tyler Owens, an interview with the Combine, said, I don't believe in space. I don't think there's other planets and stuff like that. What is happening at the Combine? Did somebody ask, hey, Tyler, can you expand, give us your thoughts on the universe and if you believe in aliens? Why is this coming up at a Combine? What's happening out there?
Well, how are you being college educated and say you don't believe in space? Now, look, I've been to Lubbock. There's nothing to do in Lubbock except throw tortillas on the field and go to a Buddy Holly museum. Other than that, that's it. So, but I don't get it's. I don't get this answer. It's like, brother,
I want to know what the question was.
Do you have Velcro shoes? What's going on?
Velcro shoes. Yeah, I mean, really. Brandon France says, I think the Bears are so far gone that no quarterback could save them. Go, Pack, go. Thank you. 100%. Chris got jokes. List the planets in order by which planet you wish to play football on next. Sarah says, space is whatever you want it to be. He thinks we're living in a simulation. Yeah. Is he a flat earther? Y'all think he's a flat earther with a comment like that?
Probably.
I actually know a ESPN sideline reporter that thinks human life is a matrix.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Interesting indeed.
It's fun
so
to hear
basically, the
talk
Matrix, the movie The Matrix is real. That's what he believes.
It's a she, but yeah, pretty much.
Oh, she. Okay. Well, whatever. Whoever it is believes that the Matrix is real. Okay. Yeah. Mr. Anderson. We have an actual Anderson, Andrew Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
That's right. Okay. We talked a little bit about this on Monday. Spencer Rattler.
We talked about it last night.
Yeah, we talked about it last night too. My hot take is that Spencer Rattler is better than Bo Nix and Penix on South Carolina QB Spencer Rattler. Thoughts, gentlemen?
If that's an executive on my team, I want him fired.
Andrew Anderson, damn right. He's a South Carolina fan, by the way. Put in the comments, what do you guys think? I know Andrew's answer, but I want to hear from everybody else. What do you think? Is he better than Bo Nix and Penix? That's hard.
Okay. Well, let's put this in context. He put up the same numbers, and in some instances better than both Bo Nix.
Yeah.
And God, drawing a blank.
Michael Penix.
Penix.
Yeah, Penix.
And he did it without an offensive line.
Yep.
This kid ran for his life all year long and still put up those numbers.
That's right.
That tells you there's something there.
Yeah. And South Carolina had no offensive line either.
No,
Zero.
it didn't. No weapons whatsoever, and he still put up these numbers. It tells me there's something there.
Yeah.
He's got $1 million arm, but he's got a 10-cent head.
Yeah. Less than 3 seconds to throw the ball and threw for 300 a game. Yeah. I mean, his film does tell a story. The story is that South Carolina decided they wanted him dead and just completely left all offensive linemen out of the question, unprotected. And he didn't care. He just kept playing and kept finding receivers and tight ends. And we'll see if he has a great, showing at Pro Day and the Combine. I mean, I don't know if he's there. I didn't look up to see if he was there. But if he has a great showing, who knows? He may shoot up on the draft board. They keep if NFL executives keep talking like this, I'm sure somebody's going to say,
The thing about quarterbacks, especially like a Spencer Rattler, quarterbacks like that who have the hype, that have the buzz, they're like tall guys in the NBA. They're always going to get a chance. Always.
How old is Spencer Rattler? Let me see. He is 23 years old.
Yeah.
So Bo Nix is 24. Caleb Williams is 22. So he's right in there in the same age as them. Bo Nix, some people think he's too old, but he's only a year younger. So, I mean, what do you do with that? You know what I mean? It just we'll see. But I don't know. I would like Tim Bailey. What's up, man? This isn't a hot take. Spencer's better than Bo. He has a better arm, is more accurate. Now, I would make the argument that Spencer is better or on par with Bo Nix. I would agree with that. It's not a hot take. I'm not saying it's a hot take. It's surprising that all of a sudden, we're hearing all of this this hype on Spencer Rattler. And does that mean that he could be, shoot up the draft boards? We'll see. I'd like to hear from Dominic Ambrose on that if he's still in here. I'd love to know what the hype is there, since he is there. Bo Nix is a dinosaur in comparison to everyone else. Spencer can throw a pass more than 5 yards. Right.
He can.
Truth. Yes, he can.
Yeah.
Trish Winky was.
He can. One thing is for sure, South Carolina's schedule wasn't as good as Kentucky's. Yeah.
No.
Tim Bailey,
God.
I read the
Stop
graphic
it.
that said hot take. I told you guys when the off season came, he'd shoot up. His talent is stupid. He is unreachable arm talent. Yeah.
So I got to question this person that posted this. I have a good idea who it is. But who did Kentucky play out of conference?
Yeah.
On the level of a Clemson.
Right.
I mean, Kentucky did play them in a bowl game.
Right. Yeah.
But Kentucky also Clemson also beat Kentucky.
Uh-huh.
So who did Kentucky play out of conference during the regular season that was better than Clemson?
Louisville.
Yeah,
And they beat
fair.
Yeah, Louisville. That was who I was thinking of. And they beat the snot out of them.
Yeah.
Kentucky was up and down last year. There's no reason to even
Mark Stoops has a great
that.
God love him.
Yeah.
You get championship pay without championship expectations. Good for you, sir.
Have you seen the fight? Have you seen his players fighting in the locker room this week? Ouch. Dude picked dude up and dropped him on his head. Boop.
Go flip the tape on and watch Spencer make throws flat-footed with a guy on his face 50-plus yards downfield. South Carolina played UNC and Clemson. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. I mean, I'm not doubting the guy's talent. Don't get me wrong. It's just they really have attached themselves to Spencer Rattler this draft, and I'm all for it. Good for him. I hope he does well. I hope he doesn't end up just a backup on a NFL team, and he does well. So we'll see.
Last thing on it. Look, I'm appreciative of what he did at Oklahoma, and I'm not going to hammer on the kid. But if he was that great of a talent, why did he end up at South Carolina?
I don't know that whole deal. I'm sure Timothy Bailey can tell you.
I know he was big on Shane Beamer. I get that, but
well, there you go. If Lincoln Riley didn't F him, he would have been a top 10 pick after 2021. So he's saying it's Lincoln Riley's fault. Do you agree with that, Chris Joseph?
No, because Lincoln ran the offense. The defense is what cost them. But Lincoln didn't turn the ball over like Spencer did. Lincoln, I mean, he had to pull Spencer in that Texas game. He had to.
Yeah.
He had to. Now, kudos to Spencer because he stayed his head in the game because he had to come in on the 2-point conversion play and threw the 2-point pass to Drake Stoops. My question is, and I think he is immensely talented. My question is, does he have it up here to be a sustainable quarterback in the NFL? Do I think he has a great arm? Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Good football IQ? Yes. Outside, is there going to be issues? And now with this being a business, people are thinking about that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a Johnny Manziel or Jamarcus Russell, but
is that the scale that we use now? Jamarcus Russell and Johnny Manziel. If you're somewhere in that range, you steer clear of them. Is that the range we use? I mean, seems to be
another one.
Who?
Chris might remember this guy, Todd Marinovich.
Oh yeah, his dad. See
that?
We can get into all that too. I see a lot of that. I have to disagree, Tim. I'm sorry.
Oklahoma's defense won a lot of games for them in 2021. 21, Spencer was clutch, but the offense struggled. Couldn't run the rock. Couldn't block anyone. Receivers did their own things. So What he says.
Beatonbow had an off year. You know, he didn't have Orlando Browns and guys like that. You know, but
Right.
I think that was the year that they had the 26th ranked defense. But still, when you watch the game, you know, tackling left a lot to be desired.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me about it. Let's get into this real quick, and then we'll run into our first break because we started a little later because my computer decided to update right when we were supposed to start. So, I find this kind of tongue in cheek. Chiefs releasing Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Well, you know, you kind of have to catch the ball as a wide receiver to stay on a team. Now, as a Packers fan, he came from Green Bay, and he had the same problems in Green Bay as he did in Kansas City. And I tried to tell everybody, they're like, oh, we picked up a good Packers wide receiver. I said, dude can't catch the ball. I'm just telling you, he cannot do it. He caught one pass in the Super Bowl, and it was like if he didn't catch it, somebody was going to take his head off, kind of.
Right.
It was a toddler could have caught that ball in the end zone the way. I mean, come on. That was the easiest catch, but it does not surprise me that Kansas City is releasing MVS. Go ahead, Vandy.
I'm blowing the whistle on you. That's enough Packers.
Well,
no more Packers. No more Packers stuff.
Okay. Well, then I have to give you this warning then.
Warning. What you're about to experience is heavily biased Vanderbilt content. Please turn away now if you're operating heavy machinery. This is your warning.
See, I've got my own ammunition. You have the whistle. I have the warning. That's how that works. Man, this has been really good so far. I'm very excited about the rest of the show. Tim says MVS is a decent player, but not worth the money he would have received. Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, that's definitely a concern for sure. We're going to take a short break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about why the NCAA may be on life support. Coming up on the Golden Boot Podcast, right here in the Dogs Media Network. We'll be right back, everybody.
Boy, that's mediocre.
Then what the
are you doing? I was drinking that.
No, you were surviving it. Give excitement a try with Bones Coffee. Click on the link below to order some for yourself. Here. Whoa is right. That substance you were sipping before is what we in the industry refer to as ass water. Sure, it technically has caffeine, but at Bones Coffee, we believe in the experience of waking up every morning looking forward to that first tasty cup. That's why we roast carefully selected beans in small batches to perfection, so you can count on quality in every cup. And not only that, Bones has a ton of fabulous flavors from which to choose.
Bang! Did someone mention flavors? Highland Greg, pleasure to meet you.
What'll it be, Greg?
You know, I've been hankering for the spiced rum flavor of Highland Grove, please.
Greg, I'm surprised by the size of your bagpipe.
Ugh, it's not the size of the bagpipe that matters, laddie.
Yeah, it's how hard you blow it. Yeah, let's leave the talking to me.
Oh, gee, I just got back from chasing some hosers out of the grilling rink. I could go for some maple bacon coffee right about noon.
Coming right up.
Hey kid, you single?
Yeah.
That's why this place looks like
Here you are, my salty siren.
Thanks. I need the salted caramel chocolate pick-me-up after dealing with this loser.
How in the world are all these people getting in here?
We just walked in. Click on the link below to stop drinking water and get yourself Bones Coffee today. Or maybe you don't want to click on the link below because you think, flavored coffee's not for me. That was Sarah G's experience. She says, usually flavored coffees taste chemically to me, but these do not. They have a really pleasant aroma and flavor. They do not leave that weird residue on the bottom of your mug like many flavored coffees do. And Cheryl S. says, I ordered this for my son's GF for a B-day. She loves it. Why, Cheryl, that's awfully nice of you. Unfortunately, they broke up and I can't return it. Frowny face. Well, that's awkward. At least she liked it, though. Stop settling for mediocrity and order Bones Coffee today.
Yo, what's going on? This is Jacob Hester, former LSU running back, here to tell you about a brand new college football podcast, the Golden Boot Podcast. Give it a listen, give it a try, give it a follow. They're going to work hard to be your new favorite podcast.
You're listening to the Golden Boot Podcast. Stay golden.
All right, welcome back to the Golden Boot Podcast. We are getting into the meat of this thing tonight. Joined by Vandy Chris and Chris Joseph tonight. And we have a question. We want to know, and y'all, well, you in the comments, you better jump in this one, because this is our title of our show tonight. NCAA, you good, bro? Is the NCAA on life support? Pete Thamel just put out an article either yesterday or the day before that referenced the Big Ten and SEC's partnership and how it may open a door to an exit by the SEC and the Big Ten. And supposedly, there are some those in upper management on both the SEC and the Big Ten that there are conversations happening for an exit. We're going to get into that tonight and kind of see where things are. Is NLI or NIL to blame for this, and does it have any part to play? So what do you guys think? Is there a chance that the two biggest conferences now, right, in the NCAA would exit and move on?
You can take it first, Vandy.
So I'll just put it to you this way. With the threat that they're putting out there that they will leave the NCAA, my response, if I'm the NCAA, okay, if you want to leave in football, you leave in every sport. We will no longer sanction your softball, your baseball, your soccer, your gymnastics, your volleyball. You walk out in football, you walk out in everything, and you get no support from us whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I
call their bluff.
Well, you have a lot more gall to you than the NCAA does, because remember, and we'll get into it as well, they had their cojones ripped out from underneath them when the ruling was they couldn't do anything about NIL, which means now it's the Wild Wild West. We were talking about it earlier before the show. Now it's nothing for somebody to just walk up with a $10,000 check, broad daylight, say, "Here, come play for my school, and we'll get you set up." The NCAA can't do jack squat about it. And now where do we go? Now where's it going to end? Because remember, and Chris, you're Joseph, you're new with us, but we've been talking about this since the implementation of NIL. That this is what would happen, and this was a very real concern on how things are going to go. Right. And I've been an advocate for a long time I'm good with, kids making money. I'm good with, whatever. But what I'm not good with is, in essence, poaching happening. In the NFL, you can't call a contracted player. Coach cannot call a contracted player.
Like Missouri.
Do what?
Like Missouri did.
Like Missouri did, exactly. And ask them to join their team. The same thing is happening in college, and yet there's no regulation on it. There's some. Go ahead, Chris.
Just remember, George, it gets better because there was some news that dropped about 5 hours ago today that is really stunning for everybody.
Well, this whole deal, this article by Pete Thamel kind of blew a discussion out of the water, because the NCAA and the SEC and the Big Ten and all the conferences, I believe they have a TV contract with ESPN through 2031. If the SEC and Big Ten decide to pull out, which somebody ran the numbers, like it's some stupid amount of number, like 78% or close to 80%. Those two conferences are your viewership numbers.
Absolutely.
And if those two conferences pull out and you damage that TV deal, it's kind of like, if the SEC and Big Ten don't get their way, then nobody gets their way.
The number one market for NCAA football every year. Birmingham, Alabama. The highest for NCAA football viewership in the entire country. And I'll say this as an Oklahoma guy, hey, I'm glad we're going to be in the SEC. So if it does happen, we're not stuck in that Mickey Mouse Big 12.
Yeah,
that's
there you go.
Big 5 conference. Almost.
Yeah. And not only that, I can't remember what podcast I was watching, but one of the hosts was saying, if this TV deal holds through to 2031, don't be surprised if the way the conferences look now look completely different. And you're crazy to think if by 2031, since we've had all this movement and stuff, whatever, that our conferences are going to look the same, because I fully see where this is headed, this partnership. The SEC and the Big Ten are going to join forces and have this monster league of their own and have all the power and all the ratings and all the money, and the NCAA is going to be left out with nothing left in their hands, because they're not going to be able to survive on a Big 12, Pac-12, an ACC. It's mind-blowing. Now, I know Greg Sankey said, oh, that's not our intention. That's not our intention. But the whisperings behind the scenes by these bigwigs in both the SEC and Big Ten, there are conversations happening of leaving. What that means, we don't know. But I want to get your reaction in the comments. What do you guys think? Do you think that there could be a chance that the SEC and the Big Ten pull out of the NCAA? And what do you think would happen? Put in the comments what you think. We always want to hear what you think in the comments. And as you're doing such, I want to remind you to like, follow, and share this broadcast. And we've had a lot of people in and out tonight. That's great. It's exactly what we want to see. A lot of comments. And if you haven't already liked, follow, and share, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Golden Boot Podcast. And our friend Chris Joseph, subscribe to all of his stuff too. He's got YouTube, Facebook, Twitter,
YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. And I do a lot of stuff with the show being called Sports Bites, and especially, being from Oklahoma, I'm a big guy. I like food. So Bites, talking about food. I do a lot of stadium reviews about, hey, if you're coming to a game at Bryant Denny, this is where you should go eat. If you're going to Baton Rouge, you want to get, stuff like that. I just talk about food. I'll put up cooking demos, me smoking a turkey for Thanksgiving, stuff like that. Go. So incorporate food and sports, what I love. And
there you go.
Bourbon.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
So
go ahead.
So if you're the NCAA, Chris,
Mm-hmm.
Would you tell these two conferences if you pull out in football, you pull out in everything?
Sure. I mean, if you think what the NCAA has done to college athletics, obviously they would take that stance. Now I feel that the Big Ten and the SEC are a little upset because this proposed, and we talked a little bit about it last night on the show about the 14-team playoff hamstringing the Big Ten and the SEC with only 3 guaranteed spots. Instead of just keeping it open, have your conference winners, and then because who knows, with the talent in both conferences, they could have 4 or 5 teams apiece. So, and they're like, don't limit us because our conference is better. Again, one of the reasons I'm glad Oklahoma's coming to the SEC
and bigger.
12.
Yeah.
And we talked about it before the show. Think about back in you wearing the Arkansas hat to the when Brian Bosworth was wearing his National Communist Against Athletes shirt. I mean, it's been going on forever.
Yeah,
forever.
It has. It absolutely has. And
not approving people an additional year when they really needed it to, I told the story about Gabe Eichert was a senator at Oklahoma. They had to self-report because he had an extra serving of pasta at a function.
Right.
Do you remember Boise State? It was about 10 years ago. Went on probation for $1.79 cheeseburger.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And guys were sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
It's like, come on now.
And that's why I think everything is so big and different now. And that's why it may be that I think that the group of 5 maybe they should have their own championship, because it's going to be gone those days of a team like Boise State being able to compete, in big games. Because if they got a player that has a fantastic year, he's gone. Ohio State, Alabama, he's going somewhere bigger. So and that's what it's become now. And I didn't mind people, you make that much money off him. I didn't say Joe Burrow if he wanted to go sit at a Dick's Sporting Goods store and sign autographs and charge people $25 an autograph.
More power to him.
More power to you, brother. They should have got kickbacks like when Baker was at Oklahoma. Every store was selling number 6 jerseys. Even on the NCAA website, if you typed in Baker Mayfield jersey, it would pull up number 6.
Wow.
But it wouldn't say his name. But and that was for every player that was out there. So I think because of how they've always been like a bully, that they would kind of draw the line in the proverbial sand.
Yeah. And on the same hand too, because of we'll just say a loss. NCAA took a loss in those rulings. With now there not being any regulation on NAL. And we know that it's not going to happen because of the ruling, right? Yeah. Yes,
actually no, it hasn't.
Well, it hasn't happened yet, but the warning has happened, Colin.
Where did that come
from? Because of how we're about to experience the Wild West.
Oh yeah.
What do you think? And I'll start with you, Chris Joseph. What do you think I mean, we're talking sky's the limit, but where do you see this leading to? I mean, you might as well start handing over bags of money in McDonald's sacks like Tennessee did. I mean, where does it end? Because if there's no regulation, there's nothing, it's no holds barred, right? I mean, this is a tables, ladders, and chairs match, so to speak. No rules. You're just out in the Wild West. So what do you think will happen?
The rich are going to get richer. People that have the money and coaches that don't want to fall in line. I mean, guys like Dabo who were, anti-NIL and stuff. I mean, if you're not going to get on board, the boosters do a lot. Think about what happened at Auburn with Brian Harsin. I mean, a lot of money. Auburn's got a lot of money. You didn't want to play the game. They got the guy who's going to shake hands and kiss babies and Hugh Freeze. But it's the teams like Tennessee, the big name schools are going to continue to succeed to get them. Now, can you get the coaches? Because Jimbo wasn't the guy. You got a $30 million recruiting, class, and you were a 5-win team. So it's going to get crazy. Some of these numbers you're going to hear are just going to go off the charts.
Fine, Colin. Let it be. There's my answer. How about that?
I'll just say they ain't but one person talking about Vanderbilt in here, and it's in the chat.
Yeah, that's the only person I've heard mention Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I know, Vandy. What do you think about the whole Wild West approach to NIL?
I think people are not going to like the end result.
Mm-mm.
They can't see the forest for the trees. And, some of us have been waving that flag since day one. You're not going to like the end result.
Nope.
See, it's almost like, nobody wants to see how the sausage is made, you
Right.
know, because this has been going on forever.
It's nasty.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. But it's been going on forever. And it's almost like there's a lot, I would say the majority of college football fans are kind of like, let's keep the seedy stuff away or I don't see it. Just give me a good product on the field.
Mhm.
But now they've opened up the
You're
slaughterhouse.
going to see it.
You can see how the sausage is made. And it's going on.
Well,
See.
and yes, I agree with that, Chris, where the floodgates have been opened. But I would say it was still so far behind closed doors that I don't think teams were paying $100 million to a quarterback.
Get at Florida that went at the Arizona State because
Yeah.
they're going to pay him $18 million.
George.
Snap yet.
Well, I mean, yes, stuff was happening behind the scenes. Don't get me wrong. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm not an idiot. I know that stuff was happening behind the scenes. I know that without a shadow of a doubt. I'm saying, like, now we have what? We had the first year we had NIL, we had Texas A&M get the #1 recruiting class, right? They had almost $100 million to players that never even stepped on the field yet. And that was out in the open. Now, I know that stuff like that was happening, but we didn't see players driving $240,000 Lamborghinis. We didn't see their penthouse suites, in LA or whatever that they're paying $9,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month for.
Didn't they take Reggie Heisman for him getting a house from USC?
God almighty, man. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, go ahead, Chris. Vandy, sorry.
What you're forgetting, George, you're talking about how much money they're getting. You're forgetting in 2000, the University of Alabama paid $200,000 for an offensive lineman that couldn't even pass the ACT to get into college.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
And they want to talk about the dirty stuff behind all that. Guess what? That $200,000 for that offensive lineman got people killed.
Yeah,
and that's not a lie. That's not a lie. That got people killed.
That turned ugly. Well, I know I've talked about this on the show before, but I knew a guy when I lived in Alabama. I lived in Pell City, Leeds area. If you're anywhere near Birmingham, you know what I'm talking about. And this guy was in the car business, and he said, well, Nick Saban buying all the dealerships, I mean, there's a reason for that. And he said, I can tell you this, it's very easy that he could say, oh, you know what? We're going to be the dealership that I just purchased. They already have a work agreement with some of the college kids that are here. And they make, minimum wage, whatever. This is before NIL. This is like this is 9 years ago. I can't believe it's 9 years ago. And because my daughter's 9 now, that's wild. Time flies. But he said that they would basically set him up on a work contract and say, hey, you can come and work for us and do this, that, and the other, and we'll pay you minimum wage or whatever. And that's what it would say in the paper. And then as they're walking down through Tuscaloosa downtown, they would bump shoulders with a booster that would just happen to drop an envelope and say, oh, I'm so sorry. Looks like you dropped this envelope right here. Do you want me to get it for you? No? Okay. Have a good day. And there's $15,000 in cash in said envelope. So they were crafty on paying players beforehand. I know this. Like, I know this.
That's how Rhett Bomar got in trouble at Oklahoma, was a car dealership.
Yep.
He's making $70,000 a year and not working a day.
Yep. And we know that players' parents have been, you know, who was that? Laramie Tunsil, right?
Yep.
When he went in the NFL and that all broke during the draft, right on draft night. Like an hour before draft night, the tweets, text messages started pouring out about him asking, "Hey, can I get my mama paid for her light bills due?" Yeah, we'll take care of it. If you don't think that's not happening, open your eyes. Well, now, sky's the limit. Now they can do whatever they want. They can buy. Hey, I tell you what, if you come to Alabama, we'll set your family up. We'll buy them a house. We'll get them a couple cars. I mean, whatever you need.
Okay,
we'll pay bills for 6 months. Like,
okay, but here, let me put this thing on its head. Okay, 1998, you had a national championship quarterback that was getting paid by a car lot in Alabama. Okay, beyond that, that whole Alabama thing in Memphis paying high school athletes $200,000. Guess who else was involved in that? The same school that had the quarterback that had the car dealership paying him. Oh, and guess who didn't get punished? They got immunity from the NCAA. And then fast forward to 2019, and they're dropping bags of cash for their players.
The thing that I'm worried about is, because we always talk about a lot of these kids, you know, are not in great situations where they grow up.
Right.
And they're looking to get to the NFL to make that kind of generational wealth. And now if you're a quarterback and someone's going to pay you $4 million, but then where's the? I mean, I think that's what happened at Texas A&M. I think that you get all these kids, and not saying all of them came from bad homes or anything like that, but so many of these kids now you're getting paid $1 million a year. Bijan Robinson had a contract with Ferrari or Lamborghini of Austin, was driving a Lamborghini around, you know, Darrell K. Royal Field, and what gives them the incentive anymore?
Right.
You know.
Right.
To go to work through college to get to the NFL when they're making, you know, it was funny. I think it was Dylan Gabriel. They were talking about Dylan could make more money in NIL this year than what he can make in his rookie contract in the NFL. So of course he's going to try and stay another year and get paid bigger money to go to Oregon.
Right.
You know, and that's where it's going. You're going to see a lot more of those Texas A&M teams. Of the kids got paid and now they're like, well, I'm not going to work anymore. You know, because they're already, it's like AAU basketball. The Sharks are already at 7-on-7s. The Sharks are at the camps. You know, if you're at the Nike Elite 11 quarterback camp, yeah. And that's one of the big red flags I have with Caleb is his father. And, you know, dealings with him. Like, I'd be leery of dealing with him and his father.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that take at all. So let me ask you about this.
Mm-hmm.
Former Oklahoma athlete, Cory Booker.
Yeah.
Have you looked into the proposal that him and Blumenthal put out to regulate NIL?
I haven't. No, I've heard about it. I haven't dove into it yet.
There's a lot of really, really good stuff in there. The part I like about it the best is it creates a committee with 15 people on the committee to investigate NIL stuff, consisting of current players, former players, current coaches, former coaches. It has a chairman, and it has subpoena power. Now, I love that part.
Sure.
Now, the one that Tuberville put out, that's got some stuff in it too. If we could combine the two somehow and make one, and take all the good things from both and put them together. Like the one Tuberville's got, it calls for a national registry. If you're paying anybody NIL money, you have to register. Or schools have to register and put their name in this database.
Sure.
Schools have to have open financial records. These are the kids that are getting paid and what they're getting paid. I think that, schools are not going to like that. But I think if you're going to control this stuff, it's got to come from, it's going to have to come from Congress. Because earlier today, the NCAA they literally put out a statement saying, okay, we're done. So I don't know if you've seen it. I can put it up real quick. In response to the latest order, the board of directors directed them to pause and not begin any more investigations involving NIL. So they're literally just punting right now.
If, and having a committee, and here's my take, what I would do, again, there may be people who don't like this, because there was always the, well, you're on scholarship, blah, blah. If you are getting so much a year, there's a threshold. If you are getting so much a year as a college football player, basketball, whatever, where if you're at that university and you've got an NIL deal where you're making a certain amount of money, then you don't get a scholarship.
I think that's fair too.
You can be, because basically, who was it? Cornell men's basketball was the first school that had the basketball players are actually considered employees of the school.
I think it was Dartmouth.
Cornell or Dartmouth. Yeah, Dartmouth. You're right. Dartmouth is right.
Dartmouth. Yep.
But if you're making a certain amount of threshold point, then you're not going to be on scholarship. You still get the benefits of having, the tutors, your medical and stuff like that. I think that's part of it. But if you're making a certain amount of money, you're not on scholarship.
I don't think that's an unfair ask.
But it would be hard, because then, who, are they going to be forced to pay out of state tuition? And it's more, so there's a lot of kinks to work out, there's no perfect plan yet, but it's just, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. And, the kind of money now, Nico Iamaleava, I think I say, he looked good in the bowl game, but do we know what it's like? We talked about Jackson Arnold last night, and he didn't look that good in the bowl game. So we don't know what he's gonna, I hope he's great. Hey,
I'm back. Yeah, I just lost internet right in the middle of the show. You gotta love it. Living out in the country. Golly.
That's second time in 2 weeks, ain't it?
No, it's the third time today. Oof. I'm really ticked off with them, but hey, it is what it is. I know y'all been holding it down, but I wanted to show you this here before we go to break. Andrew said, all right, we'll calm down now. This is another interesting draft tidbit. A quote from tight end draft prospect Tip Riemann, who is theorizing that birds aren't real. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? How do we know that power lines aren't pigeon recharging stations? What the frick, man? What is happening?
I see the picture of the tinfoil hat.
Yes. That's Weird Al in a tinfoil hat. Yeah. That's what is happening, man? I don't get it.
Where's your parents?
It's just a weird draft question and answer session. My Lord. Let's take a quick break here.
Are our future.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. That's a little scary. Let's take a quick break here. We'll be right back on the Golden Boot podcast. And we'll discuss some very interesting thing. We'll actually talk about Tom Brady and how he may now feel cheated. So there's been some interesting information that came out on that. More to come right on the Golden Boot podcast. Go ahead, Chris. What?
And there's going to be a sneak peek if you're interested in money.
Oh, a sneak peek.
I have some interesting financial news that you're going to want to pay attention to soon.
Sneak peek coming up right here on the Golden Boot Podcast. We'll be right back.
Yum, yum, get you some. Very good. Yum, yum, get you some. Yum, yum, get you some. Yum, yum, get you some.
Dano Seasoning, food's favorite flavor.
Yum, yum, get you some.
I'm Joe Burrito, your favorite burrito. Whoa, whoa.
Joe,
hey.
We all know you're the best.
What?
You can always do better. Try the new Dano's Hot Chipotle.
Hey. Ooh, that's spicy. Yum, yum.
Yum, yum, get you some.
Icy Breeze is the world's first portable air conditioner and cooler. A premium ice cooler that doubles as an eco-friendly portable air conditioner. This is not a swamp cooler, just blowing air across ice. Over 60 parts and components allow Icy Breeze to achieve what no other product in the world can do. The secret behind the Icy Breeze is an innovative design that circulates chilled ice water through a heat exchanger in the lid, replacing the Freon used in most ACs. Fresh air is drawn from hidden vents in the top of the cooler, pulled across the exchanger, and chilled down to 35 degrees cooler than the outside air. A 3-speed fan control delivers Icy Breeze's dry, cold air up to 25 miles per hour, just like a car AC. And a stay-put flex hose directs the breeze in any direction. Wherever you need it, Icy Breeze helps you beat the heat.
You're listening to the Golden Boot Podcast. Stay golden.
All right, welcome back to the Golden Boot Podcast. Gisele Bündchen was reportedly cheating on husband Tom Brady with her jiu-jitsu instructor years before the divorce. This guy said, Brady finally knows what it's like when someone cheats. Oof. I mean, listen, here's the thing.
This dude gets a bad rap for cheating.
It's if you're a person who believes that Tom Brady is a cheat, well, this might be the post for you, because Brady, I guess he really does know what it feels like to be cheated on. Or maybe he knew about it the whole time. You never know. Celebrities are weird. It happens.
George. Stop it, George. This is a family-friendly show here, sir.
It is a family show. You're right.
But
I agree. Where the heck is JQ? Good Lord.
Are you surprised it was her jiu-jitsu instructor? I mean, she was mad because he kept choosing football. And you go to practice jiu-jitsu, which is a lot of grappling on the ground and rolling around, pulling clothes, manipulating joints and stuff. Hey.
Yeah.
She said nobody's going to put baby in the corner anymore.
Right. Right. This is probably one of my favorites. Stop it with the Kermit the Frog nonsense. It's embarrassing.
Well, stop looking like Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog, get my name out your effing mouth. 1 minute I'm a beloved celebrity. The next minute I'm getting compared to some fluffy-haired bitch who puts ketchup on steak.
No, we did. No, he did.
Kermit, it's like Wendy's Twitter when they roast people, but that, it doesn't help because he got put out there when he had his shirt off. And, when you look at some of the guys on that team, how they're built, and that's your quarterback, you're like, you look like a bottle of Jet Puff marshmallow just opened.
I get, you know what?
Oh, man.
We're big into AI videos here on the Golden Boot Podcast. You know what I need now?
What do you need?
I need the Kermit the Frog AI video of him saying that.
God. Totally different to be cheated on and to cheat in a game, Sarah said about Brady.
I agree with that.
It's true. Yeah. Okay, this is good too. JJ McCarthy plans to throw at the NFL scouting combine per Schultz. This guy says, good strategy since we never saw him throw in college. I mean, Sarah said that's an insult to Kermit the Frog. I don't. I look. We definitely didn't get to see him throw many times in the championship game, did we? I think, what did he have? Like a total of 160 passing yards, I think it was, something like that, and nearly 300 rushing yards total between that game. I mean, that was.
See, that's the thing. I mean, if you don't have to, why?
Why do it?
True. Except for the fact that how the heck do you know that he's going to be any good in the NFL? Because you can't just run the ball in the NFL. That doesn't work. College, you can get away with it.
Yeah,
I mean, even the great
2 years
Eric
sample
Henry.
size.
Huh?
You got a 2-year sample size. You ain't got to base it on just one game.
I know. I mean, it's a joke. We've seen him throw the ball. We've seen him be able to make throws. I mean, the guy's got a point.
What they run that one game? They ran the ball 28 straight times.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's demoralizing. You know, if you're the defensive line and they just run it at you 28 straight times, that's just you're demoralized.
What about, you want to talk about that? Remember Nebraska and Tennessee in the Orange Bowl. If that was demoralizing, what Nebraska did to them.
That 95 Nebraska team was ridiculous.
They literally told Tennessee, hey, we're going to run the ball. When you get tired of us running it, we're going to run it some more. And if you get tired of us running it, then we're just going to run it some more. They held the ball for like 17 straight minutes, just running the ball down our throat.
Crazy. I agree with that. That Nebraska team is nuts.
Pancake after pancake.
But while we're on the subject of JJ McCarthy, what do you guys think he's going to do in the NFL? Does he have a chance to be a nice backup, or is he going to actually do something?
You know, I think a lot of it's just like what college you go to, what system he goes into, what kind of team is it, you know, what is the offensive coordinator's mindset, what's his strategy, what is he like? Is he going to go to, you know, do the Commanders take him and he goes and gets coached by Cliff Kingsbury, or, you know, who knows? It's so hard to pick, and it's a guess, you know, because you got people like, he's going to go out there and be great because he is a good athlete.
Right.
And the speed, you know, and I remember I had interviewed Jordan Evans, who played at Oklahoma, played on the Bengals team that made to the Super Bowl. And I used to do a show with guys in the NFL. And the thing that blew my mind when they were talking, I was like, what's one thing you wish average Joes would know about the NFL? And I remember Teddy told me, he said, before the play, if you line up an inch out of where your fit is, you're already out of the play.
Oh, in the NFL versus college,
you line up an inch out of position, you're out of play already. Before the ball's even snapped, you're out of the play. So it's crazy, and everybody's just guessing. There's no sure thing.
It's true. I mean, it absolutely is worth talking about, because some people forget the jump from college to NFL is miles. Miles in comparison. Go ahead, Vandy.
In comparison, a guy like Chuck Long, you know, great college quarterback, broke the all-time Big Ten passing records, was great in college, and he just ended up in a system in the NFL that didn't fit what he was good at.
Drafted by Detroit, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And if you get in a bad system, you might as well hang it up because you're done.
Jay Cutler with Chicago. Chicago's a bad system. Period.
If they would have gotten that guy in offensive line, he probably could have won a Super Bowl.
That you want to talk about arm talent? That was some arm talent.
Yeah. I heard a lot of people when he got drafted. I heard a lot of scouts saying, you know, if he'd have played behind the same offensive line that USC had, he wouldn't have lost the game.
It's
Matt
possible.
Leinart did lose a game.
Cutler was really, really good, and To me, it's I
Tough
just
as nails too.
yeah. The Chicago system, the Chicago office is just a mess. But that's not a biased take. Yes, it is. A ref had an accident. Yes, we're talking pit lacrosse here, by the way, on the Golden Boot. We talk about all sports.
No.
And then the pit account tweeted it out. So this ref absolutely had an accident on the field, and pit lacrosse took advantage of it. What's that smell? It's a Jill French stanky leg after her first goal of the season. That is just wrong in every sense of the word. That's wrong. Not only is that gross, but golly, man, for
why
Pitt
would you do that?
I don't know.
Trusted a fart. That's what happened. She thought she was going to crop dust the field and she'd up fertilizing it. I mean,
that's as bad as the videos of Tim Tebow throwing up in the SEC championship game against Alabama.
That's true.
I'll tell you. So I officiated, and that was a huge fear of mine. Being out there on the field and then
having to go to the bathroom.
You're like, uh-oh.
I've heard stories where people have just been like, well, I guess I'm just gonna crap my pants then. I don't know.
Seeing pictures like that is one of the reasons why I don't run marathons. When they're talking about you got to put band-aids on your nipples, and if you're not by just poop or pee, it's not worth it.
No.
I'm not gonna run a marathon. I don't need to run 26 miles. I got a car.
You got a car, 26 miles. That's right.
Wasn't it Percy Herman at Florida that was running down the sideline and pooped while he was running down the sideline?
Percy Harvin, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Straight up. I mean, that's it. That's
you gotta go, right?
This is the wildest thing I think I've ever seen. It's pretty wild that former Rams running back Todd Gurley is younger than Titans free agent Derrick Henry and has not played in over 3 years. Todd Gurley is still in his. I'm gonna look. I don't know. I was shocked at this. I was like, "What? Yeah. He's 29 years old." Derrick Henry. That's what I said. Is 30. Derrick Henry is 30 and he is 29. That is just unreal. It seems like Todd Gurley has been in the NFL forever.
Dang.
But he's been injured more than he's been on the field.
His knees, man. I'm afraid he's gonna end up looking like Earl Campbell. The Tyler Rose is in bad shape walking around like that. But
James, sing, George. Oh, did you like that last night? Appreciate it, buddy. I will. I don't have nothing to sing tonight.
I was pretty impressed with the vocal ability.
I mean, I kind of have to because I get paid to sing.
There you go.
So it's kind of a deal. I need to be able to do it.
Sure.
This is wild. Chop Robinson ran a 4.49 40-yard dash, and he is 254 pounds. He's a defensive lineman running a 4.49.
There's a college player that went in the transfer portal. God, what was his name? He came from up east somewhere. That ran. He's like 320, and he ran a 4.9 40.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. I don't know what people.
The kid that went to Louisville. That's who it was.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I don't know what people are getting fed or what parents are feeding their kids now. But wow, to run a 4.49, a 4.4 in a 40, that's fast at 254 pounds. Like the only way I'm running a 4.4 at 250 as if I'm literally drugged by a crane as they're swinging me. I mean, that's the only way I can get across the line that fast. There's no way. If I'm in a car, I might be able to go that fast. 254 pounds. Whoever gets, if they don't put him, wow, you're not getting the edge if he is meeting you there.
What's the over-under on draft day? The word twitch is used when they describe this guy.
Twitch.
He's twitchy.
Good.
He's
twitchy.
Got that fast twitch fire. That you're that size, and especially if you're a 10 and you got that bend coming off. They'll say bend and twitch a lot.
Yeah. It's amazing to me how that plays out. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, here's another example. 17 in this pick. Braylon Allen, JJ Watt. This is what I looked like at 17. Like, how, man? How? Braylon Allen looks like this at 17. JJ Watt, one of the NFL greats, looked like this at 17.
When you've got the genetics and the work effort, man.
Craziness. Vandy, is that what you looked like at 17?
No, not even close.
No. No. And that's no.
Look how that dude is ripped.
Share me a link. Gotta share a story about me going off on someone just now about the boot. Going off on someone? Cody? What? Okay.
By the way, I do have to say, good job getting Jacob Hester to do a little shout out.
That was Cody did. Cody,
that was great.
That. Yeah, it
I
was
respect
pretty,
Jacob Hester. Like, I liked watching him play at LSU. That was a tough nose running back.
I've been talking about the game for a second, plus a story about. Okay. Link came your way, buddy. Yeah, he got that going. I don't remember the story, but Jacob Hester, he asked him to give him a shout, basically I think it was a preview of the LSU Florida State game last year.
Yeah.
And he instead he gave us his thoughts on it, but then he gave us a shout out too at the same time. I was like, what?
That's really cool.
We just clipped it. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Oh, not this. Not that one. There we go. College football is expected to add 3 new things right here. Helmet communication, tablets on sideline and halftime, and a 2-minute warning. What? Oops. Went too far. 2-minute warning? In college football?
Do you know who's going to love that?
Who's going to love that?
The Vanderbilts of the world that are losing 65-0 with 2 minutes left in the game, and you have to sit through a damn 2-minute warning. Come on now. End this nonsense.
Cody, what's up, dude? I know you're watching your game. How's it going? Give us the score update.
Yeah, it's 2-0 right now. LSU's up. It's just got done with the 5th inning. Luke Holman, he has 10 strikeouts,
Nice.
about 2 hits. He's looking really good.
Nice.
Hammer them Shorthorns, man. Hammer them.
Oh, dude, it's been crazy too. The atmosphere is amazing. Like, that stadium's sold out right now. It's awesome to see for college baseball. But yeah, I got a story for you guys real quick.
Well, let's hear it.
So as people would probably assume about this show, we always do a share blast. Like, when it says stream is like upcoming soon, that means we're sharing this to a bunch of pages, because obviously without views, the show really has no meaning at this point. And so we need some viewers. And so every week I share to the same groups, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, I got a message notification that said that the live stream was rejected. And I'm like, okay, no problem. But it was to a group called LSU baseball fans. So I was like, okay. So, I did a little investigating to see who was an admin in the group and all that. And I saw that it was a guy that I've been Facebook friends with for like 12 years. And I went and looked, and I had it had a reply at the bottom of why it was rejected. And it
Yeah.
said, and I quote, "What is wrong with you? This is neither LSU nor baseball."
Yes, it is.
I was like,
If you
what?
watch the show longer than 10 seconds, you would know it
Yes.
absolutely is.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, this is weird. So then I go and I have a message in my Facebook inbox that says, sorry, I've had to suspend your sharing rights to the group for a week. This is only for LSU or baseball content. So
Wow,
then
you're an idiot.
I was like, okay, watch this. And I hit the call button.
Yeah.
And I called the guy. I've never spoke to him a day in my life.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, don't get me wrong, I can have a little bit of a foul mouth from time to time, but I try not to. And this guy answered, he's like, "What do you want?" I was like, "Don't start like this." So I essentially just snapped on him. I said, "Well, first of all," I said, when you think of LSU, what do you think of the state? You think of the
Yeah.
boot. It's called the Golden Boot. LSU is literally golden. I said, I said, I said, you've been friends with me on Facebook double-digit years. Insert a bunch of
Yeah.
cuss words, and I said, I have been promoting the crap out of the show. Literally, have shared this show in your group twice a week for over a
Yeah.
year now.
Yep.
And he said, "Well, it's not LSU. It's not baseball." I said, "Really?"
Yes, it is.
I said, "Please." I was like, "Enlighten me then. What is it about?" He said, "Oh, it's a football show." I was like,
No.
I said, "It can be a football show." I said, "But this is 100% baseball." Throw in a lot more cuss words because
Yeah.
I was just bored at the time because I was getting a little bit annoyed with the game. And yeah, so needless to say, I cussed this dude out for about 3 minutes, and he apologized to me, and but he didn't lift my sharing rights. So I was like, all right.
What a jack.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you're a member of the group LSU baseball fans, leave the group. It sucks.
It's
But
great.
yeah.
Start your
But
own
no.
group, Cody.
Yeah.
So, and that brings us to a great opportunity to tell Chris how the Golden Boot started.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
So
somebody started talking. I don't know who's going to
so
Lori?
me and Cody know more about it than George does.
Yes. I came in on it
so-
late.
So what was it? 11, 12 years ago, me and my best friend got to thinking there's no place on Facebook to talk about college baseball.
Yep, I agree.
So I started a Facebook group called College Baseball Smack because I like this smack mentality.
Right.
There's some things we let go, but for the most part, if you want to drop an F-bomb in our group, drop an F-bomb in our group. We don't
Right.
care. We're not going to suspend you, which isn't like most groups.
Right.
Cody was one of the first 10 members to join the group. So me and Cody have known each other this whole time. So as it grew, we started talking about maybe doing something live on Facebook in the group. And it just never worked out that we could do stuff like that.
I apologize.
And then
My bad.
And then about a little over a year ago, me and Cody got to talking, what if we just try it?
Mm-hmm.
And I got in with this group called what was that group?
Variety Sports Network.
Variety Sports Network.
Yep.
And they gave me a platform where me and Cody could do a podcast on college baseball.
But we couldn't call it a podcast.
Nope.
We had to call it a show.
And that annoyed the crap out of me.
and one of the things we do one of the things we do in this group is we give out an award every week of the season called the Golden Broom.
Yep.
As you know, if you sweep a weekend series, you're breaking out the broom.
Right.
And that was the idea behind it. If you went undefeated for the week, the admins in the group would nominate teams that they thought were deserving, and then we'd vote on it. Who gets the Golden Broom? So we called it the Golden Broom Show. Well, it was just me and Cody, and we're kind of boring sometimes. And George offered to come in as a guest one night to talk about Arkansas.
Yeah, buddy.
And he stuck. And as you can see, he's kind of the leader of the group now.
I'm not leader. I just talk way too damn much.
But that's how this was born.
See, but I love college baseball. So the fact that people in this group that there's an outlet for it. I mean, I miss Rosenblatt. I mean, Rosenblatt was
I went there as a kid.
I remember I got to talk. So the '94 Oklahoma team that won the national championship beat Georgia Tech. The three major league players that were on that Georgia Tech team.
I do not remember.
Nope.
Nomar Garcia-Parra.
Okay.
Jason Varitek.
Okay.
And Jay Payton.
That's not even fair.
But
I remember Garcia-Parra and Veritek.
But Oklahoma beat them 17-3 that day. That was back in the old C-Corps bats where nuke bats. Bookout hit one out of Rosenblatt Stadium.
Yes, right.
Ryan Miner hit a home run, which he recently just passed. But yeah, college baseball, man, it's a very underrated, undervalued sport.
Yes, it is.
The group people were talking, quit talking baseball, and I was like, simple minds don't understand baseball. When I was calling baseball, still, if I go to a game, I still like to keep score. I love baseball. A couple years ago when Oklahoma was in the regional against LSU, loved being down there, walking through the parking lot, and was like, "Hey, come have some boudin, come have," and it was a great environment. Love that. And one of the reasons I'm glad Oklahoma's coming to the SEC because of the type of baseball. I mean, the South Carolina, Vanderbilt, LSU, which I'm glad we beat Tennessee the other day. I'm excited for it. Plus, me living in Birmingham, the SEC tournament is 6 miles away from my house.
I'm jealous.
I can't wait to go, and it's a great sport. I wish they let the umpires get a little bit better because there's some terrible umpires in all of college baseball.
Oh,
yes, there are.
If you saw that play with us tonight, you'd have been coming through your screen.
Y'all beat Evansville pretty easily, didn't you?
We did, and then tonight we're down there in Houston playing Louisiana.
Yeah.
So there's a new rule in baseball this year. If there's a force play, you have to slide.
That's right.
Yep, there is.
So we had a guy lead first, was on second base before the fielder got the ball. And they called him out because he didn't slide on the force play. Well, there was no force play because he was already on the freaking base.
Because he made
it. Yeah. Lord have mercy.
Crazy stuff.
It is nutcase.
All
right. Well, Cody.
Luke Coleman, he's back on the mound, so I'm gonna let you guys finish it up. It's been a great show so far. I've been listening the whole time. So
we're fixing to bring up your topic since you jumped on here and broke your superstition. We're going to bring up your topic.
Go ahead and
talk
play
about
it.
Superstitions.
Go ahead and play it, then I'll hop off.
Okay.
So we got this little video about superstitions.
I got it. I'm gonna play it. Because I got the full version, and it may not. That way, it didn't glitch. Here we go. Chris is already shaking his head. Yes. So the question is, and I need answers from everybody in the comment section. This is every sport. Does sports voodoo exist? Is there superstitions? What are they? What are your superstitions? Cody, appreciate you, man. Enjoy the game.
For sure. Y'all have a good one.
All right. Gotta know what your superstitions are. Chris Joseph, do you have any?
So being an Oklahoma fan, the shirt I wear has to coincide with the jersey that they're wearing. If it's a home game, I've got to wear the crimson. If it's a road game, I got to wear the white. I don't have many superstitions for my Washington Commanders anymore. I just hope they win a game. I mean, I don't know if there's any voodoo that can help, because I think voodoo put them in the place they are right now. But that, and I've always got to take a shot of some higher end bourbon before every game.
Okay.
Vandy?
So I don't have anything that I observed personally other than you don't ever mention the no-hitter.
Never.
Ever.
Never. You can't.
You can say something like, you might want to check out a situation developing, but you never say the words, he got a no-hitter going.
No.
Never.
Situation developing. Yeah, that was rough. There was a couple instances last year where it was close. Then a ball ricochets off somebody's glove or something, and it just shattered it. But
I always try to make it very conscious when I was calling football or calling baseball, not to, do the announcers. Oh, he's 4 for 4 on field goals inside 30 yards this year. Totally
right.
Job, after he makes it, that's 5 in a row he's made within that distance.
There you go. Yeah, I know. Because let's see what it was. It was at Collinsworth that was like, somebody said that if I say something, that it jinxes him, so I better not say a damn word on this. Or something like, I can't remember what it was, because it was like he had like 7. Say 7 for 7 on this drive. Very next thing, he threw an interception. It was like, shut up, Collinsworth, shut up.
I would rather headbutt the pointy end of a rusty nail.
Bring back Cody or we riot. Well, you got to take it up with him, because he's watching a 2-0 game right now.
And that's what brought the topic up is that's why Cody's not here tonight, is he's superstitious. He never does a podcast during a game.
Nope, he doesn't. He will not. He'll watch one, but he won't do one. That's kind of the stigma on Friday nights in baseball season. It gets rough, but mine was earlier. I didn't care. We won 5-1. But this is the thing. Andrew, do you have any superstitions? Because I'll tell you what mine is. James Fender, what about you? Sarah, I don't know. I don't know if you have. I don't think Sarah has any. My superstition, I'm gonna see if Sarah can get it. My wife, Sarah Hancock's in the comments. My superstition deals with the jersey right behind me. That is an Amon Green Bay jersey. So yeah, James says none. He doesn't have any superstitions. I want to know if Sarah knows this. I feel like she would, but it's like it's one of those things where it's in the back of my mind, if I didn't get to start watching the game and we're winning, I won't watch. That is really close. She got it. Where you wear the jersey, they lose. That's 100% correct. I'm not even kidding you. It's probably a 95% margin. I've had this jersey since I was 16. And it used to be huge on me. Sarah said every single time. Since I have had that jersey, I have worn it the 2018 NFC Championship game. We know what happened there. Aaron Rodgers and his calf, where they let Seattle come back after dominating the whole game. Wore that jersey then. I wore it several times during the regular season. And after that game, after that NFC Championship game, I said, no more. That jersey will be a memento on my wall for the rest of my life. I'll wear it out. Like if we're not playing that day, I'll throw it on. I'll wear it out, whatever. But it goes back on the rack, and it will not get worn on game day. It's just that's it. So
yeah,
go ahead.
So there is one in baseball. If Kendall Rogers ever tweets out something about a baseball game,
Uh-huh.
you can better believe whatever's happening stops happening.
Right.
If someone says go Tigers or go Dogs, they gotta leave. That's a superstition, Andrew. Oh, dang, that's great.
I'm going to Andrew's house and I'm going to yell, "Anchor down!"
I'm trying. I'm in communication with Kendall, trying to get him to come on my show.
Luke Holman goes 5.2 innings.
See,
is it 3 hits,
0 runs, 12 Ks,
strikeouts.
That's
crazy.
So, and what's cool about you talking to Kendall? I'm personal friends with Preacher.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to Vanderbilt games, guess where I'm sitting? Right beside Preacher,
right
on the third base dugout. You know.
Do you have do you sit on the left or the right of him? Usually
I'm on the right hand side.
Okay. Do you have a earplug in your left ear?
Actually, no, because he's not bad.
Oh, okay.
Jeff is the one that's bad.
Jeff is
the
one?
loud, obnoxious one. Yeah. The 3 whistles and then the 3 claps. That's Jeff.
Okay.
So
is the
Preacher tells a story about
thing in baseball.
2014 when they went to Omaha and everybody started complaining.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Preacher goes to the steakhouse after the game, ends up partying until 3 o'clock in the morning with Kendall.
Oh,
Kendall loves him.
Yeah.
He can't stand Jeff, but he loves Preacher.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to stand Jeff either. Good God. Ooh, can't imagine how obnoxious that boy is with that whistle.
Boy, listen to you, boy.
I know, whatever, man, whatever.
He's got kid. He had a kid that was older than you.
Okay, well, okay, that grandpa, is you know what I mean. Luke Coleman goes. Oh, we just read that. 12 strikeouts, ties career high. Yeah. Sick, Cody. That's great. I think. You know what? I think we have one. Well, we actually have 2 more, and then we'll get into some baseball because there is some news in the baseball world. We have 1 more, and Vandy, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love it. Do you know why? Because
Packers junk.
But listen, it falls in line. Monday. Did we or did we not say in 2 years we would have a $200 million quarterback? Is that what we said, or did we not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, it's going to be earlier than that because it is reported that he is going to receive a 4-year, $200 million deal. $150 million of that is at least guaranteed.
Ooh.
At least. Now,
and then he goes out first game next year and breaks his femur in half and never plays another.
I will absolutely remove you from this stream, sir. Watch what you are saying.
Don't you below me, Bobby?
Yeah, don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
And then the Packers will be affectionately known as the Mets of football.
No. I rebuke you, Satan. Get thee behind me. No.
Still getting paid. Gotta love it.
Gotta love it.
I hate it. I'm a Jordan Love fan. I'm glad that the man's getting a contract. But again, we said it Monday. Why do we need these $200 million contracts? Why do we need to pay freaking people $50, $60, $70, $150 million to play football?
Why are they guaranteed?
It's just
if you don't
they
make
just keep
team,
raising the bar
paid.
every year. Oh, this person got this. Well, guess what? They reset the market. So that means I'm worth this because my stats were better. And it just keeps going and keeps going and keps going.
And they raise the cap again this year.
And then they raise the cap. They're going to keep raising the cap. And as long as they keep raising the cap, they're going to keep raising contracts. Or he'll win the Super Bowl and get a bonus on top of that. Thank you, James. Yeah. I mean, shoot. It just, man, $200 million. I was shocked when Aaron Rodgers got a $100 million contract. Now we're talking 200 million. We're talking double in 5 years. We win $100 more million. This is nuts, man. I don't know. I'm all for, people making money. I'm all for the I don't know. I just can't get down with these daggum contracts. Am I wrong in thinking that way?
Nope.
No, I mean, like I always say, for me, inflation. I don't, and not. This is not me saying you're saying this.
Is it Joe Biden's fault?
I don't have salary, and I don't salary hate. For me.
Yeah.
And because again, when you look at like NFL football,
yeah,
the number of people that can do, even though there's a lot of us that try to be armchair quarterbacks and say, "Oh, I could go complete a pass," whatever.
No.
It's because how much is a 30-second ad in the Super Bowl now?
True.
How much is it?
I mean, you're right.
Naming right sponsor, and for those that have, if someone told me they're going to pay me an absorbent amount of money to do what I do,
yeah.
Right, I agree with that. It's not coming out of your. Well, Green Bay, it kind of is because the fans own Green Bay, so the fans own Green Bay, so a little bit.
Yeah. That's the next thing that's going behind my wall. I will have a piece of that team, and it will be hung right on my back wall. Go ahead,
Sarah. Just know that if your husband ever gets season tickets to the Green Bay Packers, that he will be paying Jordan Love's salary.
How is
very
that
much for the warning?
Let me do a quick question, and let me do a quick answer here. How long is the season ticket waiting list for the Packers? It already filled it in for me. Let's see. It is. Ding 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 ding. Let me see. Well, it doesn't actually say. It says there's a gap list. Oh no, it does. There is a at least 7-year waiting list to get season tickets.
I can't
7 years. And that's if you can get them, because they only make a certain amount. And usually what they do is the people in Green Bay will have them.
Yeah.
And then they will just hold on to them and give them to their family for the rest of their entire life. They'll never give them up.
Look, I'll tell you this. You want to know something crazy money wise?
Yeah.
So today, and this is not baseball, but today, the University of Oklahoma opened up its brand new softball stadium.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're a juggernaut. They're now at 69 giggity straight victories. But literally there was people paying $2,000 a ticket to be at game 1 today at college softball.
That's insane.
$500 for college softball.
Holy mackerel.
And I thought $500 for a ticket to Vanderbilt, Tennessee this year was high.
For college, I called games for Oklahoma back in the championship season 2013. When we beat Tennessee for the national title, but people paying $2,000 a ticket to watch college softball.
Whew.
That's wild.
That's that oil money out in Oklahoma.
You ain't lying.
So, you're talking about softball. Let me ask you. You seem pretty knowledgeable. Is Oklahoma the only program in America that actually turns a profit in softball?
Well, probably. Well, so Love's gas station was the big backer behind the stadium.
Yeah.
But again, they're going out. They went to they went to McNeese State this year to be a part. When they go to the Mary Nutter tournament and stuff like that, they bring in a lot. They're probably the only one. And that's James. They are. I mean, it's ridiculous. Patty was always great with me. I was there with Kalani Ricketts, Michelle Gascoigne, Lauren Chamberlain, those people. So getting to see that, but it's crazy what this team has done.
Mm-hmm.
And on any level, like I tell people, that's why I love the SEC. Respect tradition, love greatness.
Yeah.
Any sport right now, you've won 69 straight games.
Yeah.
They have a chance to be the first team in college softball history to play for a fourth, try to get a 4-peat because I got a 3-peat.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I mean, she deserved to get this facility, but still $2,000 ticket to watch, a softball game. When they said so, the stadium holds 4,500 people. They played Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
Miami of Ohio Stadium holds capacity 500.
Yeah. It's insane.
So and talking about the financial aspect of it, even a program like Tennessee,
Sure,
they lose on average about $750,000 a year. Lose money.
This is something I learned last year, and you guys being SEC people, did you know Mississippi State does not charge for people to watch their softball games?
Wow.
No idea.
So Oklahoma played there in a tournament last year, and Samantha Ricketts, who was at the University of Oklahoma, Mississippi State. So I was like, man, the close I'm gonna go watch them play. Drive to Stark Vegas. There was a baseball game going on at the time. They're making a ton of money with baseball.
At the Dude, yeah.
No ticket, like you just show up. Mine was blind. I was like, at a school like Mississippi State, you're not charging tickets.
Yeah, wow.
Seems very counterproductive. How is that team making any money?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and in baseball, I think there's only 6 or 7 programs nationally that turn a profit.
Yeah,
there's not many programs at all that turn a profit.
Arkansas don't even turn a profit right now. Arkansas actually breaks even, but Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, LSU, Texas A&M are the 4 big ones. They're about the only ones in the SEC that actually
Arkansas
turn
made
a
money.
profit.
I tell you,
Arkansas
are they making money now?
They are now. Yeah.
A&M,
it's because of being in the front last 3 or 4 years. They've been making mad money on baseball.
Except nobody calling catching the foul area.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Thank you very much for that, Chris Joseph. That just is a hot poker in my side. Thank you.
Mollywopped by Ole Miss in the championship. Like, it wasn't even close.
No. Well, since we're talking baseball, let's wrap the last 15 minutes
championships not being close.
Last 15 minutes, let's wrap this thing up this week on the diamond. Let's get this. All right, here we go. Baseball. Real quick, I'm gonna say Hagen Smith. Me and Vandy were talking about this before. I was not expecting the type of just unreal strikeouts this guy has put on. 17 strikeouts against 17 strikeouts against Oregon State, and then 12 strikeouts tonight in 6 innings. We went 5 1/3, I think, in Oregon State, and 6 1/3 tonight. He did give up a home run, but it was like the second pitch, and some quick draw will be able to. Hey, I hit a home run off Hagen Smith from Murray State, but after that, they didn't do anything. They couldn't hit anything. He struck out the side twice tonight. Just insane what he's doing. And I know, Vandy, you're right. You told me. I just like his implosion against TCU was rough to watch last year, right? And then he was real rough on the edges in the opening weekend because it was cold. It was really cold in Fayetteville. It was like 27 degrees, I think it was, when the lights turned off, and there was like a 22-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah,
The
terrible.
baseball was carrying. It was awful baseball weather. And he just couldn't get warmed up. And then to throw the very next week, 17 strikeouts, and just look like, I mean, you throw 17 strikeouts and 12 the next week. It's those are Paul Skeens numbers. I'm not saying he is Paul Skeens or he's going to be by the end of the season, but my goodness.
Will he still Livy Dunn?
I don't know. But man,
somebody tried. Well, Taylor Swift tried to sneak in there, but he struck her out.
Yeah, she tried to sneak in there, but she struck out. Yeah.
So, on this baseball topic,
Uh-huh.
I'm glad Oklahoma's coming to the SEC.
Yes.
But we have to teach you some lessons about the SEC.
Oh, goodness.
Well, I'll tell you this right off the bat. Oklahoma better do something about their facilities, because right now, as it stands, Oklahoma's baseball facilities will be dead last in the SEC. Hands down, dead last.
No way.
Yes.
No.
No, yes, sir. Oklahoma? Who else is worse? I mean, Oklahoma and Missouri are probably the two worst facilities in college. Like in the SEC, it'll be Oklahoma and Missouri.
In the SEC, I could see Oklahoma and Missouri being that way. Yeah.
So in the SEC, LSU has the Rally Posse.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay. 2 years ago, Arkansas found one.
Yeah,
they have the Rally Coon. They actually caught a coon in the stands with their bare hands.
I remember seeing that.
So they
walking around with it.
Uh-huh.
So they have the Rally
It
Coon.
was not me, by the way. I'd be running the opposite direction. I'm not trying to catch a raccoon barehanded. Go ahead.
Okay. In Nashville at Vanderbilt, we have the Rally Hawk.
Uh-huh.
Because our field is the Hawkins Field.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have a hawk that flies around the stadium sometimes.
Sure. Yeah.
As you do.
So tonight, there's been a new development in the SEC.
Yes, there has been.
A new mascot has been located.
I did not see this.
Alabama, the Crimson Tide.
The Gumps.
Now, yes, they now have the Rally Bunny.
Really?
Are you
on the
play
field? I think holding
I've
us up
tried
here.
to.
There we go. Our
There's a little bunny rabbit.
Bunny Foo making his way down the first base line, breaking towards the Alabama dugout. Who's our wrangler? Now making his way back on the field, heading towards the Indiana dugout. Who's brave enough to pick this guy up? And
it'll scratch the out of you.
to the clubhouse.
There you go,
He
Sarah.
returns.
This rabbit has no idea what it's doing.
None.
So Alabama now has the Rally Bunny.
God.
So you're going to have to find some wildlife somewhere and find a rally animal if you're going to be in the SEC.
It's the berm bums that are outside the
the berm bums.
Yeah, they'll bring couches outside the outfield wall and sit out there, and there'll be couches. Now we don't set them on fire like West Virginia, but there'll be people with couches behind the outfield wall, and at L. Elementary Park. But you'll see when it comes on, when you see a game there.
Yeah,
just
the rally couches. I love it,
but especially. For a team that played in the College World Series 2 years ago, Skip, I love Skip Johnson. He's done a great job with that program. It's just the facilities are so bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they'll update them with SEC money. You'll definitely update some.
Bluebell's great. The train in the background, like I used to love going there when they were in the the Big 12, except hearing all that giga whoop boop swaying farmer fight stuff that they do.
That's interesting.
Cheerleaders.
Ball four. Ball four. Ball four.
Yeah. Hey,
Shut up.
Ball four. I mean, Arkansas does that too, which I think is hilarious. And we also have the Ric Flair, woo!
Yeah.
And being in Fayetteville, boy, that's loud.
Oh, yeah.
Good God, is that loud?
So at Oklahoma, do you guys play Sweet Caroline?
I think every baseball stadium is required to.
Okay.
That's true. We do.
I think and I've tried to warn my friends that are baseball fans. I'm like, you have to come to the SEC tournament. You have to see it.
Yep.
Because, again, that Mickey Mouse conference, the Big 12. Now, I loved when it was in Oklahoma City. The Oklahoma City Dodgers, great. Bricktown Ballpark, beautiful. And it was small enough to have people there. When they moved it down to the Rangers ball, I mean, stands are empty, it looks terrible. And I was telling them, like, you guys better get ready. When you pull into the Hoover Met and there's rows of RVs. And
yes.
I mean, it's like, you guys better get ready. And it's
I remember the first time coming down that hill and just seeing rows and rows and rows of RVs, trucks, cars, whatever, and that huge, massive parking lot, people parked in the grass. And then they even had a little kids carnival on backside of the stadium. I don't know if they do that all the time, but what
every SEC tournament they do.
Yeah.
So-
and I remember going there and I was like, dude, this is something else. But what was crazy is, like, I've been to Baumwalker. I took Sarah. She's a big Brady Slavens fan. And we went and watched Florida. It was like one of the last games of the season. Packed house. I mean, 11,000 strong. And I'm a bit of a rookie when it comes to going places going to games because I'm going to fix my camera real quick. It's all tilted. There we go. I felt like I was hanging off a cliff. But we get there, and mind you, I have been to the tournament, and Cody will tell you in the tournament, if it's a down, if it's a game where it's a blowout, or if it's a situation where your some players are there's just not a lot big turnout, not a big game or whatever. They don't have a sign. They don't have like you get a ticket and you get your row and stuff, but it's not like you have to pertain to it. It's big enough. You can spread out. I didn't know what I was doing. So I just found a bunch of Hog fans and stuck with them. And I was like, you got a room for a couple of Hog fans? Yeah, come on. Right down behind home plate. I got to watch Arkansas demolish Florida 16-0.
Nice.
That game. And then turn around and came back the next day for the championship against LSU, and had to sit right behind the first base dugout. Actually, it was right behind Arkansas's dugout because they were on that side, and it was really hot that day, and it was close. But again, I got to put my feet up on the dugout. I didn't. It was premium seating, and it was just general admission, and I got to sit with them because they saved me a seat.
Right.
Let me tell you something. If you ever get a chance to go to Fayetteville, that is not the case. Holy cow. So I was brand spanking new, and I had seats or whatever, and I bought seats. I got 3 seats for us. There were 2 seats together and one was split. And I was like, yeah, the part where Sarah had to sit by herself until I switched. Yeah, because of the way they had the assigned seats. So I found some cheap seats on StubHub, and we're cutting in the tail end of this thing. I'm gonna go through top 25 scores here in just a minute. But was like, well, we're gonna sit here. There's nobody here. It may not have somebody sitting in the seat. Oh no. We sit there, and all of a sudden I get, hey, what's your ticket say? I was like, this. They're like, oh yeah, your seat's over there. I was like, oh crap. So, because it was absolutely sold out, packed out. You couldn't even move in that stadium because Baum Walker is an experience.
Oh yeah.
The hog pen, I mean, it was all packed, and Sarah did. She had to sit further up by herself, and me and Abby sat further down. It's good seats. It was like closer to. It was like in between first base and home plate. Really good seats. Like I don't know, like 10, 4. I think it was like 6 rows up. So it was really good seats. But yeah, I learned my lesson that day. I was like, well, got to sit where your seat is. That's not the case in the SEC tournament. It was pretty wild. So
I hope maybe we can swing some credentials there.
Oh yes, that would be great. Let's get into some top 25 baseball scores because I know there's been some games going on. North Carolina put a clinic against Princeton, 12-2.
We got to talk to Hunter about his team.
Yeah, well, they came close. They came real close tonight. I'll get more into that in just a minute. NC State 6-5 over Townsend. Number 12 Duke still rolling, 6-0 over Akron. East Carolina over Purdue 7-1. Virginia over Massachusetts 4-3. DBU over Arizona 4-3. Still hanging in the top 25.
DBU is such a good mid-major.
Yep. That is a great mid-major. That is the quintessential mid-major staple.
You know who they remind me of?
Who they remind you of?
Think of like the 90s and early 2000s Oral Roberts.
Yes. So speaking of Hunter's team, TCU and Southern Cal 9-8 tonight. TCU squeaked out a win by 1 run. 9-8.
I love hand signs. The gig,
USC actually had the lead in that game.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Arkansas clinic over Murray State 5-1. Vanderbilt over Louisiana 7-4.
You got
Tennessee
something interesting about that Vandy game.
What happened?
There were 13 balls hit tonight. There were over 100 coming off the bat.
Wow.
9 of them by Vanderbilt. And relief pitcher for Vanderbilt tonight, Grayson Carter.
Yeah.
What a story of that young man. Right after he got to Vanderbilt, his family lost their home in a fire.
Oof.
He then got cut from the team.
Right.
Worked his way back last week through 8 straight pitches for strikes over 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
And then again tonight, topped out at 101 twice tonight. The story of that young man to be doing that after all he's been through. It's just a great story. I thought it was interesting. Thought I'd share it with you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Tennessee over Bowling Green 11-1. Georgia Southern over Campbell. Wow.
The Campbells.
Yep. Campbell's fall tonight to Georgia Southern 9-4 in Statesboro. Florida over Miami 7-3. Alabama over Indiana 12-0.
It's the Bunny.
They blanked it. The Bunny absolutely came out victorious, 12-0. Wow.
The fun part about the Bunny was how when it ran over to the Indiana dugout, and it stared them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, there'll be bunnies in the stands.
Yep.
Yep.
Oregon State 6-5 over North Dakota State in Corvallis.
Somebody picked North Dakota State as a surprise team to get into the field of 64 later on.
You did, and they played this in this game very, very well. UC Santa Barbara over Oregon 6-1 in Eugene.
They the Gauchos.
Yep. And you had Texas Tech squeaking by a win over Gardner Webb 10-7. That's Sarah's alma mater, by the way.
Gardner Webb?
Do what? I'm sorry?
You said Gardner Webb. That's her alma
Gardner,
mater.
yep, Gardner Webb.
A Bulldog.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. A&M over Arizona State 4-0, and LSU is sitting right now, top of the 7th, 6-0 over Texas in Houston in Minute Maid Park. How about that?
Horns down always. Please,
LSU has been
throw the horns down to Texas, no matter what sport it is, when they come to your stadium. Throw the horns down.
Right. So there's our top 25 baseball. Well, you got Liberty and South Carolina both. Liberty and Coastal Carolina, Clemson and South Carolina are both postponed.
Yeah,
Weather. Yep. So, but there's a top 25 baseball. Good baseball to start out the weekend. I think it's going to be really nice. So we'll see how it plays out. Going to be some good games this week. I know we started a little bit late, but guys, it's time to wrap this thing up. So,
thank you, Chris, for coming on tonight.
No problem, guys. I appreciate the invite, and just glad to be a part of this, and can't wait to help see it grow. So, but everybody out there, you see the name right there, Sports Bites. My podcast is available on every major platform. Just look up Sports Bites to see that logo. Give it a follow, like, share everything, and hopefully see more of me on the Dog Sports Media Group.
Absolutely. That's some great final thoughts there. I appreciate that. Vandy, what's your final thoughts, bud?
I'm going to say what I always say. If you have issues with your mental health, reach out to somebody. My personal mailbox is open 24/7. If you need somebody to talk to, I'm sure George's is. I know Cody's is. Or if you don't feel comfortable reaching out to one of us, remember, 988 is a suicide prevention hotline. Don't be afraid to reach out if you need some help.
That's what I got there. It says positively moving forward.
Yep.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. Be sure to check us out Monday night, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, right here on the Dogs Media Network. Dog TV is coming soon. Might as well just rip the Band-Aid off on that one. There will be 24-hour coverage coming soon. Be watching for that. More to come there, and give you some more information on that. But until next time, we will see you Monday night, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, right here on Dogs Media Network. Appreciate everybody coming in. That we would not have a show without you guys. Stay golden. We will see you next time. If it will play. Because you know how that goes.
The benefit of flash photography.
There we go.